I've been really interested in the idea of art retreats. In our day-to-day lives, there's a lot of structure for things like going to work, going to school, doing our chores, doing our errands, all those core tasks that we need to do as functioning adults in society, but there's not as much structure for being creative built into our everyday. So I think that's what really grabbed me about art retreats, is that it provides that structure to be creative. You go to a new location, you meet new creative people, you do excursions, you do creative activities that you maybe normally wouldn't do. You have dedicated time to creating art. So I've been really wanting to do an art retreat. However, after some research, I found that they are pretty expensive, and I have champagne taste, so if I did one, I would have to go on a nice one. There's just no other way to go about it, which costs a lot of money. And because I'm the type of person who thinks they can DIY pretty much anything, I thought, why don't I just take the principles of an art retreat and create one for myself? So I'm gonna take you along for my 5-day DIY art retreat in Brooklyn, New York. I'll be staying with my friend Miga, who is also an artist, and I'll be doing the retreat with her. So every day the plan is to follow a similar schedule as you would at an organized art retreat. I did a bunch of Googling, and basically the overall schedule is day 1, you have a welcome dinner where you meet the other guests and just get settled in. And then for most of the trip, you are doing some kind of exercise or movement, you're going on excursions, you're doing art lessons, other creative activities that maybe you normally wouldn't do, having dedicated time to creating art, of course, all while enjoying really yummy food and your new surroundings. That's a lot of activities and pretty ambitious even for my scheduling skills, but we'll certainly try to squeeze in as many as we can each day. Now, the DIY approach does mean you have to bring your own art supplies, which might seem like a hassle, but it does give you the freedom to explore multiple kinds of projects and have more control over your art practice, which I like. At the end of the video, I'll also be including a summary of everything that I spent, so you can have an idea of what a DIY art retreat like this might cost. If you don't already know me, I'm Kennedy. I create art content, mostly crochet, but spoiler alert, as you'll see in the video, I'm also trying new mediums and dabbling in lifestyle content as well. So happy to have you here. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your snack, and let's go on our 5-day DIY art retreat in Brooklyn, New York. The goal was to pack light, so I have a dress, a couple of tops, 2 sweaters, a nice pair of dress pants, and then my trusty jeans, but of course I wore only about half of this. For some reason, every time I travel, I always develop fixation outfits, no matter the amount of clothes I bring, so you will see a lot of outfit repeating. And even when I try to be really intentional about packing, I always bring stuff I don't end up using. This was especially true for the supplies. I brought my crochet hooks, 5 balls of yarn when I only ended up using 1, my wool felting kit, a mic for recording, which I didn't use, my iPad, and a thank you gift for my friend and her apartment mates. With the bags packed, it was time for day 1, which was travel and the welcome dinner. And after a quick and thankfully uneventful flight, I landed in Brooklyn and dropped my stuff off and then headed to our dinner. Now, I've known her for, oh my gosh, probably 5+ years at this point, but I haven't seen her in person for 2 years. So the dinner did truly feel like a welcome dinner where we're just getting reacquainted after all this time, catching up on all those little things that don't translate over text or video calls, and going over our agenda for the trip. So after dinner, of course, we had to go for an obligatory sweet treat, continued our conversation, and then after just turned in for the night. It's the first full day. We're doing our movement, excursions, and art session. Day 3, we did a bar class for our movement, an art session in a local coffee shop, a pizza crawl, and we went to an art cafe. Day 4, we're doing a yoga and bar class for our movement and then heading into the city for our excursions and art session. Today is the last day. We went to a bathhouse and artist market and had our last art session on a rooftop. So that concludes my DIY art retreat in Brooklyn. I had a great time. We did so many activities. I think we were averaging probably like 15,000 steps a day. There were some days that we hit 20,000 and my feet were definitely killing me every single night, but I think it was really worth it. Now, if you got to the end of this video and you're thinking, Kennedy, you just went on a regular vacation and, you know, maybe you just did art in a cafe a couple of times. To that I say, I get it. I definitely had some feelings of self-doubt while I was filming this, especially when I was editing and watching clips of me just eating all the time. So I definitely was questioning, did I achieve what I set out to do? But then I reminded myself, an art retreat is a vacation where you do art. And so if those are the main points and the main qualifications, I think we definitely achieved that. And as cheesy as it might sound, having the mindset of, okay, this trip is an art retreat really did impact the tone and kind of like the overall experience. For example, you know, one of the activities that we would do a lot was, you know, there'd be an interesting shop and we wanted to go inside. But instead of just like mindlessly browsing through the racks, having this kind of, you know, art retreat mindset really did change the conversations that Mika and I had. You know, we weren't just looking at like clothes, we were looking at the patterns, we were looking at the colors, and a lot of the shops we went into had products from local artists that I didn't see on a regular day-to-day basis, you know, in my usual shops that I frequent. So it was really cool to see, you know, what are they making, how are they tying it to you know, the local area of Brooklyn and New York. Understanding everything through that analytical mindset was a lot of fun. And I didn't catch it on camera, but another example is in one of the shops we went to, there was this big mural in the back, and Mika and I had a whole like 10-minute conversation, just asking each other questions about this artwork. You know, what did you notice first? Like, what do you think of the colors? Like, what are the placement? All these things, and this conversation that I don't think we would have had if we hadn't framed this time together as, you know, a DIY art retreat. So I thought it was really worthwhile. We hit a lot of the elements that other art retreats do, which is movement, excursions, art sessions. The one that we kind of missed out on though was art lessons. We just simply did not have time. If I were to do it over again, I think I would have scaled back a little bit on the amount of excursions that we did. So here's a rough estimate of everything we spent.
And this is just to give you an idea of what things cost in case it's helpful for replicating your own art retreat trip. So travel was the largest expense. This included my flight, ride shares to the airport, and subway rides. Food for me is always a focal point of traveling, so I was willing to dedicate a sizable portion of my budget to eating. And then for excursions, the main cost driver was actually my haircut, which I included in this category. So if you don't count that, it actually wasn't too bad. And then souvenirs was also a little bit high because I picked up some special items for my family. So for the future, I'll probably cut costs in the excursions and souvenir categories. And considering multi-day art retreats can run you multiple thousands of dollars, I think I still achieved my goal of saving money by DIYing this. Yes, I could have bought less matcha lattes and fewer bagels, but hey, I'm helping the local economy and I know better for next time.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to do this again, so if there's another city or area that you think I should replicate this, please let me know in the comments. And up until this point, a lot of my content has been mostly crochet tutorials, but I'm looking to branch out into kind of like art vlogs, lifestyle stuff. So if you liked this video, please let me know. Liking and sharing and commenting is free for you, but it really impacts my ability to continue creating content like my free crochet patterns and videos like this. And don't forget to connect with me on my other socials. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!